Judgy McJudgerson over here.
Yeah, maybe you'd enjoy it. I think you wouldn't enjoy that either.
What?
Like 18 million.
I haven't been to one of the 2 million.
Listen, we talked about it. People have mask fatigue, they have COVID fatigue, they have Zoom fatigue, they have Zoom happy hour fatigue.
I know this is hard to imagine, guys, but I think people have Darren fatigue.
They don't have sneaky part fatigue.
Vanity fatigue.
I'll tell you that. They don't have sneaky part fatigue.
Who's wearing my stuff?
Damien.
Come on, Damien.
Come on, Damien. Let's go. Let's get it
Jesus.
together.
What do we got to do?
Got
here?
a hat there, Marty?
What's up?
Got a hat there?
Yeah, I did. I went with a little blue hat there. Do you want a sneaky par hat, bro? There's a couple over in the other room.
I have.
What, you just slamming beers over there? Married guys just like, fuck this. I'm slamming beers.
Because I just do this for a second.
Did you already drink a beer? Yeah. Look at you. Somebody, you a
that's our
stressful
guy.
week or what?
No,
Fucking shishito peppers?
Jesus.
actually.
Grimes. I did. We'll save it for the
The
show.
wife must have been listening to podcasts. She's been making them lately.
Is she? Well, she's a smart girl.
Do you think? Well, this is recorded. Are those
Yeah,
good?
it's
Just as-
recorded.
I know. I'm just
Hit the red button and we'll talk about it.
okay. So just go.
No, sorry. No, the other red button.
Oh, are we ready?
What are
Everybody
you
looks
checking
good?
yourself out in the mirror, big guy?
Yeah, make sure the hair is okay. I don't have a hat on.
Oh man,
Looks great.
I do not have that problem.
Hit it.
Welcome to the Sneaky Par Show, where amateur hacks try to balance shitty golf between careers, dating, marriage, and everyday life. Over to you guys. Par!
Why do you laugh every time that plays? That was.
No.
It's great. Whoever that guy that did the voiceover, we think we need to get him on the show. And
I don't know why I laugh. I just listen to it and think like, what are people thinking?
It's
when
so
they're, when they're-
cheesy.
yeah, when they're listening to it.
when I wrote it, or no, when we talked about the intro and you came up with the shitty golfers or hacks and all this, and I was like, all right, well, how do I transition into us trying to talk? And I'm like, well, let's be as basic as they can, like say 4 and like let the E go and come, or the E letter go, and then go into it.
What I'm giggling about is the first podcast. There used to be all this sneaky par, like it was
Sold out.
It was all nice and pretty and everything, and now we just show up, jump on the table, and like, okay, let's go.
yeah, I'm drinking White Claws now. It was all mixing drinks.
Like, next thing you know, we're in sweatpants. We're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Minimal budget now.
Yeah. No, we sold out of all this stuff. Well, you can grab it's over there. You can grab the Bloody Mary mix and all that good stuff. But whatever. All right, welcome. It's our season finale, and we say that because we'll be back in probably 2 weeks after this. But we wanted to kind of have a little break between the Masters because we all have, well, at least I do. I don't know if you're going to Arizona or what you're doing, but I'm going to Florida for the Masters. You were going to go to Arizona. Who knows? And Brian, I'm sure you're going to.
I thought the Masters was in Georgia.
No, I'm not. Okay. So
Brian's in full force
quick
today.
funny story. Well, Daddy D's got his Masters vest on, so thank you
and
for
you know-
thinking of the show and that, wearing that.
And I have something to say about that.
Please do.
Today, I got on a Zoom call with our buddy Brent from Chicago Highlands because we were supposed to be at the practice round this year for the Masters.
Yep.
Got canceled, right? Postponed. But they allowed anybody that had tickets to get on their website and buy gear. So we got on, and I bought Masters gear today from Brent.
Can you still go on and buy some?
I mean, you got to have somebody. I mean, Brent could probably. I don't know if there's a max or whatever, but this will be his 3rd time.
Oh.
But yeah, so you could. I mean, I spent. I got a I got a new vest.
Shocking.
Yeah,
I like that vest though. It's light.
And,
I need a light vest.
A sock hat and a long sleeve T-shirt that has 2020 Masters, which will be worth something.
Collectors.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
of
the 2020
situation.
Ryder Cup stuff that we have.
So it was interesting. I got on thinking I'm not going to spend any more money because got to save. We got to be a big saver. But the market was up today, so I went splurged a little bit.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So let's get into this. We did the Zoom last week, which I think actually, for all said and done, turned out pretty well.
Yeah,
Right? I don't know if you guys listened to it, but I did a couple of times, which I
listened
do with every.
on my way back on my way to my parents' house.
Okay. Yeah, which good for seeing the parents. How's Jane doing?
They're
Oh,
doing well. They say
great.
hello, guys.
Yeah. I like it. We can put the virtual backgrounds on and change them all the time. And
Well, that and the
works.
fact that we're not always going to be able to get together on a night to do this.
Yeah, and we know that we can be versatile. I
Yeah.
think is what it comes down to, flexibility. So we didn't go over the numbers. Let me just rock them real quick here in our last season 1 episode. Big numbers, boys. Big numbers. The social media manager is really earning her keep right now. So Instagram, I know we skipped a week, but it's what it is. 55% increase.
Whoa.
We are approaching a milestone that when we come to season 2, episode 1, it's going to be epic. We're not going to be in the studio. We're actually going to be in a different state. So Brian, you better clear with the wife now.
What's when this?
The X thing that we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we're in a different state. We're going to celebrate many a milestones because I know we're going to be at that number. So Brian, clear it with the wife.
Season 2, episode 1 is like in 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. We can't stop because
Give
if
or
we-
take.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's enough time for me to clear things.
Well, it's just a longer drive. If
a
you're-
drive.
Yeah.
We're not talking about getting on a plane.
No.
No. It's
Oh, okay.
we're like going across the border north. Okay. So you can figure that out. Okay. You can do work stuff up there too.
All right,
That's
nice.
how you can
Yeah.
do it. So 55% Instagram, huge boys, love it. Twitter 36%, huge, love it. Facebook way down 2%.
Wow.
YouTube 9%. Downloads overall 23%. So double-digit growth, huge numbers, boys. I mean, no better way to celebrate the final episode of the season than double-digit.
Can we get the
growth.
social media manager on our show?
We can. I think we can. We only communicate via Facebook Messenger, and I think it makes sense.
And I don't think Southwest flies there.
Yeah, I think we might have to pick her up on a boat. But no, I'm still looking at the people that are following us. I'm making sure that it's not bullshit things, and it seems still legit.
A lot of golfers.
And that's what I'd said. I'm like, we're targeting golf people, and she's got people that kind of doing things like us. She's got people that are just.
What about the reviews on the podcast? Like you leave like stars and comments and stuff.
I don't get those. I guess I could go look.
Those I feel like those are that's the real tell there. If people are going to go on there, like it, give you 4 or 5 stars, and then comment about it, and you got something good going there, then I feel like we're on to something.
Well, I feel like that's what everybody says when they're like, "Hey, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like us on Apple Pie." Like they give this whole like sales pitch. It's like, "Hey, listen, if you want to listen to us, great. If you don't, fuck off. It's okay."
Yeah.
I mean,
But I'm saying if you're going to go the extra mile to rate the app.
I'm trying to figure out how to get there. Go, keep going, Brian.
I'm saying if you're going to go an extra mile to like the app and leave a comment, whether you like it or don't like it, I feel like that's the tell right there.
Well, I'll
if
be
we're
honest
doing
with you
all right.
guys. We have 18 ratings on the Apple Podcast, and it's 5 out of 5.
Really?
Whoa! I mean, it's right there.
Obviously.
You know what? I haven't even rated it yet either.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I haven't either.
Yeah, we're at 20 out of. I haven't either. So 21 out of 21. So
I might give it 4 stars though.
Yeah.
4.5.
Yeah, that Chi-Town guy needs to up his game a little bit. But all right, so we got the Masters coming up. Obviously, everybody knows that. We've been talking about it.
4 stars, not enough Chi-Town on the podcast.
And I was thinking about the Masters. Didn't you want me to place a bet?
Yes. So lots going on right now. Let me talk. So, sorry, I don't mean to let me talk.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
What I mean is that, so we had some buddies that played Harborside today. They were down there. They had a later tea time in the afternoon. They had some drinks. So they're like, "Hey, are you guys doing the podcast on Thursday?" I'm like, "Yeah." So they came in and we actually did, before you guys got here, this is a later show than usual, but they came on for 40 minutes. So it was myself and those three just kind of talking about the caddy episode.
Brian,
that we
I
had
think
on
we're
last
I like
year.
that.
We're fired.
I like that idea. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So they came in, we were just shooting the shit, and they're kind of like, "Well, what are we going to talk?" I'm like, "Dude, like we're fine. Like we'll be fine." So it's good. So this episode might be a little bit longer, or I might split it into 2. I don't know. We'll figure it out from there.
The less work I have to do, I'm all right with it.
So we got good 45 minutes of content with these guys, and 2 of them were the guys at the Murder at Hilldale.
What's that?
That was that little event that we did with myself and Daly versus Josh.
Oh, okay.
And so
Gotcha.
that was in the episodes before. However, so we got the Masters coming up. We got to place the bet on Finau. Okay. So we're going to do that, and we're all going to chip in. Want to see that. Number 2, I did a bet with the 3 other guys that were here, and I want to do it with you guys because you're in on that bet. I already said you guys
Hey,
are
that's
in.
the little gambling thing.
I know.
we're doing.
Hold on.
Okay,
so,
sorry.
so we already did. So we bet with these guys, and I kind of made it up on the fly. It's pretty simple, but you guys are into. It's like $33 a person. Long story short, you pick a number 1 guy from these groups A, B, C, or D, and you pick a sleeper pick from E.
Okay.
All right. Both guys have to make the cut, and that's the only thing. And it's a combined score between the 2. If both guys make the top 10 that you pick, then you get paid double from everybody. So what I need from Daddy D and Chi-Town is who is your main pick and who's your sleeper pick. I will tell you, DJ is taken, JT is taken. Who did I take?
Oh, seems like
Who did I take?
seems weird.
All right, go ahead. I'll tell you. I will know. Give me your main
I'm
pick.
glad I was there for the draft.
No, I took Finau.
Put me on the spot like that.
All right, so I'm putting you on the spot. Who is your main pick and who is your sleeper pick from Group E? Go.
I don't see anything from Group E.
Well, Group E's down here. But give me your main pick
Tiger
first from these. All right, so you got Woods.
Yep.
Shalair, who's your main pick?
You pick Woods to win it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your main pick?
He's coming
In groups A, B, C, and D.
Webb Simpson.
Okay. I don't know if Damian took Webb Simpson.
What?
No. So Damian took JT as his main pick and Webb Simpson as his sleeper
I thought
pick.
the sleeper had to be from Group
It
E.
does. We didn't know that when he did it. So we figured this out at first. So, all right. So you want Webb Simpson as your main guy.
My main guy.
Okay. And then your sleepers.
Because you already picked Finau, right?
Yeah, I took Finau.
Okay. I don't know any of these guys. I looked at this the other day.
I picked
all I do is
Terrell,
recognize the
Terrell
old
Hatton
guys.
is taken by myself. Matthew Wolf is taken by somebody else
Wolf's
as
a
well.
good one.
Kisner was taken as well.
I feel like Malnati should be on this list. I thought he qualified to get in.
I don't know. So there's a lot of big names on this E list here. So you got to pick it out.
Hold on. I sent you. I need to look at the email. Remember I sent like what
Yeah, but
guys,
this is a different bet.
I know, but I researched it. All of these guys, like who,
right, well,
who the
look at
sleeper
who it is.
picks were. I don't remember.
Gripes.
Kuchar.
Matt Kuchar. All right, good bet. So who are your two? Webb Simpson and Kuchar.
Yes.
All right.
The dream team.
Daddy D, you got Woods, and you want to take Mickelson because he's on this list right here.
No, I don't want to take him.
He's hot right now in the senior or the
Yeah, he
Champions
is doing
Tour.
well there. Man, I don't know. Look at these. Just give me.
Stewart Sink on this list?
I mean, there's a lot of Masters champions.
There's
out
a
there.
dude. Did Trevor Immelman pick? I almost took him over my Hatton, but Hatton's playing well and he's an angry golfer.
Just give me. Somebody pick champ.
No,
I'll pick champ.
Cam Champ. Okay,
Yeah, I like him.
All right, so I will send those to the boys, and you guys are in on this bet. The funny thing is about this little pool, so you have different combinations of the pool. Like there's groups A through D, and then everything is E. So your boy Chi-Town decided to go
For
ahead,
the
Byron, tell you.
record, this is my first Masters pool I participated in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the instructions, why it's not online baffles me, first of
because
all.
it's an illegal gambling thing. But continue.
You can, I just heard a commercial. I can go to Rivers and just make bets online
yeah,
on
but this
sports.
is different. But all right,
All right,
let's go.
so you got to pick somebody from Group A, from Group B, C, D, and
It's a valid combination of the groups.
one from each group, right?
No, see these valid combinations.
Oh yeah, so yeah,
Okay,
that was yeah, so that threw me off a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, like I'll just go with all others. Like I thought the all others group meant you get everybody in that group.
But you're not saying pick one from A, one from B, one from C. It's just one out of those.
Yeah, so you pick one from A,
one from A and then four from E,
and then 4 from E.
or you take one from C, 2 from D, and 2 from E.
Why did you ask me what my main pick is?
No, this is different.
Different bet.
This is
Different
just
bet.
our sneaky part
Yeah.
bet. If you want in this pool, I can send it to the guy, and you can be in this pool. But Shalair, what he did, he goes, give me Jason Day from C, and he would say, let's do this one. He said DD, so he goes, give me Finau and Fleetwood, and you got to pick three from Group E. He just says other
thought-
golfers.
I thought it
he
meant
thought it was
all
like the
others.
entire.
I'm like, oh,
everybody
this is-
else.
this is a no-brainer. I get the
everybody
whole
else-
field.
Yeah, everybody would take Group E if you did that. He's like, I'll take Group E and Group E. And we're just like the guy who sometimes says like, no, Brian, you actually have to specifically pick a player from
And then
Group
that's
E.
when I said, I've never heard of anybody in Group E. You got Fred Couples in there.
That's right.
Like,
You got Zach Johnson, you got Kuchar, who you know, Mark Leishman, Graham McDowell, you got
Never
Abraham
heard of those.
Answer. You got
there's a
tons
European guy in there
Adam
somewhere
Scott.
too.
Yeah, you got
champion.
tons of big. Zach Johnson. I guarantee Zach Johnson gonna be a top 10 after two rounds. Yes, you miss it. You mark it.
Hey, why did we want to bet on Tony Finau? What was the story behind that?
Because Shalair didn't know who he was.
No idea
so when
who
he
he
didn't know
was.
who.
What are we? How much are we betting?
Which also sums up Group E, by the
You
way.
want to do like 20 ahead? We'll do 60 on him, or do we
$60?
want to like get big?
Do you know what $60 bet on Finau? Would
I like
pay
it. You
us?
guys like make my bets for me. You play 'em- You
1,500.
play on my weekends
It'll
for
make
me.
1,500 for us.
If,
oh man,
if we place a $6 bet on Finau and he won,
60 or
we'd-
60?
we'd make 1,500.
I thought the
Okay.
odds were like 3,000 to 1.
It's 20. His is plus. He's plus 2,500 right now.
Okay. So what you make
Book it.
plus 2,500 does it mean if you bet $1 you win 2,500? Is that what it means?
I don't know.
No, if you bet $1, you win. Wait.
What is plus 25?
Yeah, no. If you bet $1, you get $26.
Okay.
So we're betting 60.
Apparently, I don't know how to gamble.
betting 100.
Maybe that's why I lost
we're
so
going
much
100?
money. gambling
$33
online.
a piece.
Okay, done. Let's do it. We're in. I got cash over there. You
Here
can
it
grab
goes.
it.
You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Got a lot of
Hey, actually,
good
give me a
stuff.
sec. I got to check with my wife.
Yeah.
It is done. The receipt.
It's nice. So
What app did you do there?
DraftKings.
DraftKings?
This goes out to DraftKings. You're welcome.
DraftKings for all your betting needs, especially on Masters weekend. Check them out at
I'm
DraftKings
sure
app.
DraftKings has a Masters pool. We could
Not
have
like
done on
this.
there.
This is fun. They do have a Masters pool. This is fun.
Why don't you tell them? They could probably build it.
Brian, this
Sorry.
is not my app. I don't care. It's
All
not
right.
my pool. I just participate with 4 different foursomes, and I call it or whatever the combinations are. So, interesting though, the guys that were here today, they played Harborside, which is Daddy D's, of course.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And one of the guys really good, shot like a 76, and the other guys are so they're not bad.
Did you put everything on my tab?
I did. I'm like, Daddy D's tab. Like, oh, we know Daddy D. And I was telling the guys, I'm like, hey, I shot my best round of my life at Harborside Port this summer. I think I shot like a 78 or 79. I couldn't miss, right, for me. And what's interesting is that I caught myself doing it. I was talking to the really good guy, Dinzy, and I go, I shot a 79. And I go, should have been a 76. I meant, when you go into this, and you're just like, I should have had it. And I was thinking, nobody ever says I shot like a 79. Should have been an 85. I shouldn't have hit this chip and things like that.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, if somebody's like, you shot really well, or you scored really well, but you didn't shoot well, means you're kind of cheating.
The Dan Kruger line. How'd you play today? He's like, I struck the ball really well, just didn't score well.
Yeah. No, exactly. So
know this one.
I think anybody that shoots in the 70s, which I've only done once at Harborside, and I will always try to tell you oh man, I left a couple strokes out there. But nobody ever says I shot a 79, but it was trash. It should have been an 85. But you don't hear that.
I did talk about my lowest score at Mammoth, and I said 73, but my caddy probably saved me 6 or 7 strokes. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, but you struck the ball well.
yeah.
It wasn't like you didn't all of a sudden just pop off after 18 and be like, oh shit, 74. I didn't think I was even there.
Like at Black Wolf, my last week was 83, and I had two sevens and a double.
I mean, Highlands, I said I shot a 101, and that was with a birdie and 2 natural pars.
Yeah.
So
I do it too, and I know we all do it. Is you just wish you could say your score and shut the fuck up. What'd you shoot? 85. Cool. How was it? Great.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I wore a cute top and a vest.
The wind was howling. I had people at a bad foursome. They were chirping behind. It's just no.
just tell people you shot a 101. Nobody asks any questions after that.
Yeah.
I mean, one of these episodes, though, we got to talk about cheaters. They lie. I mean, I've been beaten.
I golf with one over at Highlands.
We talked about that.
Does he know that I'm talking about him?
No,
calling him
he
out in
has
his
no
podcast
idea.
all the time.
I don't think he listens to the podcast, but I'll tell him hey, check out this episode at this time. This might be about you.
I mean, I just don't understand it. I don't know.
Well, I think it goes to our point about the caddies when I said, hey, when the guy was putting Vaseline on there because he doesn't want to walk, but you're like, no, he's trying to improve your experience. If we wanted to, here's the thing. If you want to play for money, which I get, you should play all the strokes, then you should play stroke and distance. If you hit the ball out of bounds, you should go back to the tee box and kind of hit. So
yeah,
I don't agree with that. I think everybody should play ladder hazards and courses like this to speed up play and things like that. I guess if everybody's on the same page, that's cool.
Where it comes down to, yeah.
But I mean, I get Brian's point. I do. I can't argue with it.
Glad I'm right about something.
You're right about a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we did see we heard from Dinzy and the guys an interesting rule, and I don't think it's real. And maybe you guys, you wouldn't know, Brian, but maybe you would. So one of the guys, he said, hit it off the tee, called it OB. And, Harborside's got that fescue and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, everything's a lateral hazard. And all of a sudden, he drops in, the right side of the fairway. And I'm like, whoa. Is what his buddy was saying. He's like, dude, you can't drop there, is what Damien said to him. He goes, no, if you drop here in 3 instead of 2, you can drop in the fairway.
I've never heard that.
And I've never heard it. And I go, listen, you're assuming that when he goes back to the tee box, he's going to hit his drive right here in the fairway. Mm-hmm. And I go, dude, there's no way that's a USGA rule.
I feel like that's
that you take an extra stroke just to drop it in the fairway.
So if
you're out of bounds and don't go back to the tee box, you can drop in the fairway, but you're going to be laying 3.
For the record, nobody hits the ball out of bounds more than I do, and I've never dropped it in the fairway.
I don't know all the rules though, and
he said it was a new rule. I go, dude, I read all the USGA new rules for this year. I go, I don't ever remember them saying You can either go back to the tee box, or you can
wouldn't-
just drop it in the fairway at the same distance that you went out of the box.
Wouldn't they always take that? Yeah.
I would take it all the time.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's just assuming. Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
I have.
You basically
I mean,
hit it in the fairway.
Exactly. That's assuming that you hit your second drive. That went the first one on OB. The second one is going to be in the fairway. That same distance where you cross the whatever OB line or hazard.
I mean, I've read all the rule books, looking for every advantage I can because I can't hit the golf ball, and I do not remember reading that.
Dude, talk about the most complicating book out there. I mean, even the players out there have to bring over the
rules. Like they have themselves who are pros. They have their caddies who are even better with the rules, and they still got to call someone over just to like be sure.
I mean, when I'm playing for money, I always ask them, like, "Hey, man, I don't know what this rule is. But again, I'll lose this hole, whatever."
Well, most of the time when you're playing with your buddies and you're playing for cash, still like if you got to take a drop, they're like, "Hey, give yourself a look."
Yeah.
because that's fun. Like you don't want them to be like you're behind a tree and you got to chip out. Depends on what you guys you're playing with, but. I'm always like, hey man, like give yourself a better lie, give yourself a better look, and we golf with your boss.
Yeah.
and one of your other work people was like, dude, he gives himself the shittiest drops I've ever seen.
I like that though. Yeah. He's like trying to play legit.
But I don't know if he's trying to play legit or he just doesn't know.
Oh yeah. I'm like, fluff that bad boy up a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, let's.
Yeah.
The boss you can trust, like that guy.
Yeah.
That's very
God,
true.
that weather was perfect.
I think we're our reach is growing on the Sneaky Par show. I got a text that somebody was at the Soho House.
Oh yeah.
And said they got the shishito peppers and they were amazing. So I'm
Nice.
I think whoever these shishito farmers of America are, they should start sponsoring the show because I mean I think we're.
What did they put on him? Or the Soho
Oh, I
House?
didn't get
That's
into-
a,
I didn't
that's a
get
solid
it.
place to go, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been. I watched a movie there once. with
Never
a
been.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a
Good
movie
sweet
there.
Yeah,
spot.
they have like it's kind of cool. They have different rooms that are open at different times.
They
and
would
stuff.
never let people like us in there.
I heard they don't let sales or financial people
only
become members. Like
creative.
only creative. Well, hey, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
We're-
exactly.
Hey, we can't put our real job. We have to put our Sneaky Par podcast. Yeah.
we'd like the Sneaky Par team to join the Soho House.
Yeah, who do you think rents out all the rooms? It's finance and salespeople.
Of course it is, because if you're not a member, you can go still stay at the hotel.
There's a question. Do they have to shut down during COVID?
Well, they have a roof deck, so they
Well,
can.
I mean, even if they're private.
Oh yeah, well, Ridgemore's private. They still got. They had a. You can't only eat on the patio. You can't eat indoors.
So it's not the land of the free. Oh, got it.
Oh,
Now we got a political podcast.
I mean, speaking.
we
of
should
this,
have two: a Sneaky Par golf podcast and a Sneaky Par political podcast. Yeah, that would be disastrous.
Congratulations for voting, though, Marty.
I did.
Nice work.
First time in take 43 to get me 18 plus whatever the number is.
You did good.
I voted for the
proud
first
of you.
time in.
That's something
That
you really
many
don't
years.
admit,
So
especially on a
strange,
podcast. But
especially when you can just register for the mail-in. Like that's all I do.
Yeah,
right?
but no, what's crazy now is like I'm that guy. Like I'm talking to my those guys that were here in the podcast. I'm like, did you vote? Did you vote? Like I'm like the voting police now. Like, oh, you didn't vote? Like you loser.
somebody
like,
starts to talk about something like,
Yeah.
wait a second, before you say anything, did you vote? If you didn't vote, you can't say anything.
I don't know why you didn't put a sticker on a Sneaky Par hat and post it.
I have the sticker at home. I honestly was watching. I got home. It was like 6:30, and we talked about this because we were together.
I didn't think you were going to do it.
And I was on the couch and I was watching Fox News, and I watched Fox 32. They switched to the local Chicago, and they brought up the fair tax thing, and the guy's like, "Oh," and he just was so dramatic about it. I'm like, "That's it."
Yeah,
So I got in my car, drove 2 blocks.
Yeah, why did you walk?
I know I should have walked. It was a nice day. Drove 2 blocks, walked in, I'll admit this, was a little nervous. I didn't know what was going
know
on.
what to do,
I had
yeah.
no idea. And they're like, move up, especially during COVID, they're like, move here and do this. And I walk up, I was like, what do you want? I'm like, I need to vote and I've never voted. And he goes, okay, well, we'll just register here. He's like, can I see your ID? And somebody told me, and I didn't know this, my ID was.
I told you.
Oh, you told me. Yeah. My ID was expired.
Did he not even look at it?
So I grabbed my Floyd card, I grabbed my passport, and I gave him my actual ID that was expired. I didn't forgot about it. He goes, okay, cool. And he gave it back. And I asked him, I go, hey, that's expired. I go, he goes, and I go, if it's expired, like, can you not take that as a real form of ID? He goes, yeah, I don't really know. And I was like,
Well, I
all
mean-
right. I mean, I had a backup ID, but like, that's what you,
Legitimately, probably not supposed to, but it's your address. You just
Like
have
but
a
he didn't
license.
even look at the expiration.
Oh,
He
yeah.
just looked at the address.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's
go
what
to like the
matters.
8th precinct, second, whatever it was. Sign me up. Go in the sheet. Fill it all. I literally filled out 4 votes. And I go, I don't want to vote for all these other things. He goes, yeah, you don't have to. I'm like, okay. So I just put it in there, give them. And
He's like, you don't have to. We'll fill those in for you.
we gotcha.
That guy knows exactly.
There was all Democrat judges. I'm like, there's no competition. So I gave it to the lady, put it in this machine. She goes, vote cast. I'm like, what's now? She's like, you're done. Went home.
Wait, do I get a
was
receipt?
back on the couch. No, check this out. Was back on the couch by like 6:50. So I left at 6:30. Was on the couch at 6:50. 6:49 and 45 seconds when I was walking into my house, Illinois declared for Biden. I just cast my vote, got home before 7 o'clock. Well, maybe it was after. I don't know what. Literally, like it feels like I just voted and like, oh, Illinois is Biden. Which
And
we all know.
But then the fair tax didn't get approved,
it
so
did not,
maybe
so-
yours helped. So you can,
You know, if that won by one, well, we're not going to get political here. So
I like it though with that guy because he's like, you know what?
just opened another one, not too far in Milwaukee, coastal Milwaukee.
yeah, that's awesome. They look great. I was looking at the.
Did you see who they had ESPN there the other day? Get out of here! So we're
Wait
gonna-
till Sneaky
Yeah,
Part
we're going to
comes
show
in
us
with our massive group of listeners. All right, so Brian, what were you saying? You were talking about something before the camera cut out.
Oh, yeah, the person that accepted your fake ID when you were
Oh, yeah,
when you were
the
voting,
voting thing,
or
yeah.
sorry, your expired ID. Like, you know, in that guy's defense, if he doesn't take your fake identification for voting, then he can't take everybody else's fake identification.
Correct. And I'm
for
like
voting.
super legit.
Yeah.
Well, I looked online and I was just like, what are the forms of ID? And I had my passport, my FOID card. I had a piece of mail with a bank statement. So I had the whole thing. He's like, no, that ID's fine. And he didn't even look to see if it was expired.
If you think about it, if you think about voting in the state of Illinois, FOID card's not going to work.
No, it did. No, the FOID card they said was a valid. I could have
No
used that.
way.
Yes, I could have used that to register to vote because it's a valid state issued card. Yeah, I looked it up online.
I'm actually surprised. I didn't think that would
No,
work,
it
or
did.
your passport would.
If it makes that guy feel any better, you know, one time I was, you know, working at a bar checking IDs, and same thing. I'm just looking at the birthday. I'm not looking at the picture really or anything like that. And somebody gave me an ID. It had Elvis's picture on it with his birthday. I let him in.
Sorry.
And then I got fired.
like that's just like your caddy story. One night,
One night.
Brian can't hold the job. That's fucking great. That's fucking great. So, okay, well, we voted. You know, we're still waiting for the results. We got Masters coming up, season finale. We got a huge. So I know we didn't promise, but we talked about having a big season ending of season 1. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
This is what it is. We got the other guys that we're gonna in here too, but we're gonna kick off season 2 with a bang.
But it's not over yet. The podcast isn't over yet, is it?
No.
I said we got to talk about the European tour a little bit.
No, we're still going. we can still
I mean,
go
like
for sure.
this podcast tonight.
Oh,
wrapping it
for
up
sure.
right now.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Brian,
Sorry.
we can go all night, man.
Yeah, you just
Don't
did.
worry.
As long as that camera keeps recording, we're good to go.
Yeah, we take a break to
How
recharge.
did your night? By the way, how did your night end up last podcast? You think you had a couple ladies coming over?
Anywho, back to the.
So, how did your night end up at PB and J's with the other fellas here earlier? Were asking about how that went out because they listened to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when you were out with.
I thought I talked about that. No.
No. This is the first time you've been back since you went to the. Oh no, you did on the Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. They haven't listened to episode 8.
So it was, it was fun.
Yeah.
My buddy made out well.
Okay.
Found a pediatrician
Weird.
for himself.
Weird hot fire.
Yeah. Strange. Wouldn't have guessed that.
Where did you close that down?
No. My number one rule when I go out is home by midnight.
I like that rule.
Yep. Nothing good happens after midnight.
Oh, you've talked to my mother.
Nothing good
My
happens after
mom is-
10 p.m.
Of
My
all,
mom said
of all the circumstances I've been in my life,
that's a
that
good one.
that are questionable, they've all been after midnight.
Do you know how many times me and Marv like from now on, midnight? That's it. Never works.
Well, if there's this site I saw, it's called Patheon or Pret, something like this. I was telling Daddy D about it. It's basically it's an OnlyFans, but for like normal creative shit. So people will subscribe and pay a monthly fee to hear like exclusive content and all that kind of stuff. And I always was thinking like, man, if we could have like the Sneaky Par like after hours. Remember the Peach Pick After Dark on 90210? Like the club.
I do,
If
yeah.
we could have like the Sneaky Par after hours and have people subscribe, like the stories that Brian could tell from his days in the early or all the 2000s, my story, Daddy D stories, like God, that would be amazing if we could actually
The
have those
listeners would
stories.
all have to sign NDAs.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is
can't
such
go-
a PC
can't go
podcast
public.
for us, and we would love to get a little more risque, but until people start paying and sponsoring us, it's
No,
not
we
going to
don't-
happen.
we
Well,
don't
we
need
also
to.
have jobs.
We don't need to get risque.
no,
There
no,
are-
exactly. But
there are comedians that don't like cuss and that
like
are
yeah,
very
my boy
successful.
Sam. But I'm just saying, this site is like some people were like, I'd rather have 300 followers on this Patheon, whatever it's called, site, versus 3 million Instagram followers because you know those 300 people that are paying to hear your exclusive content like you. They're not trolling you. They're going to be like, hey, this is great. Like, do this and this type of thing. Nobody's going to pay to that. So that's our goal, boys. We're going to get
I mean,
there.
what if it was like
Do they have to invite you, or can we just put stuff on there?
like what if it was like $2.50 a month?
Well, I think, no, you set the price. You
No, I know what I'm saying. Like, would people pay that to listen to this? They're not going to pay 20. They're not gonna pay
$1 a
30.
year.
Yeah.
million
What if it was a
listeners?
$1 a year? But then
Yeah.
we got a million of them one day.
I'm with you. I'm in. It's no problem with that. But I don't know. I guess I can put an account out there and we can see where it goes.
Nowhere. We like owe.
we owe money.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we owe at the end.
Marty, where's my 33 cents for that subscription?
We get all these emails, like refunds.
Yeah. You guys are trash. I don't know what. This is the dumbest podcast. All right.
We should start a go. We've had a better chance of starting a GoFundMe
Yeah,
for Marty
yeah.
to get his money back from all the microphones he's purchased.
Gripes. All right. So, Brian, I know you got some stats, and thank you for doing some preliminary work here for the final episode. But you're big on the European tour in season 1. I don't know why. I know you're a big fan of Italy. You've been out there a couple times, but tell us why.
Well, it's on in the morning,
Oh,
and I'm up in the morning, so that's it. And I'm also big on the LPGA because they play like once every 3 weeks, which fits my schedule well.
Once every 3 weeks, huh?
Yeah, like they didn't have a tournament last weekend, and they don't have one next weekend. Yeah, it's perfect for me. Tune in once every 3 weeks.
Yeah, but
nice
do
little
you
course.
actually watch it, or you just because you're up early, you leave it on the background? So I know you're a big soccer guy now because the girl's into it. But I mean, do you actually watch the golf, or you just have it on in the background and kind of do your thing?
No, I actually watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I watch golf, I like watching the courses, right? Because usually when I'm watching golf, it's cold here in Chicago, and I get to go to places that are warm and beautiful.
In your mind.
Yeah, just close your eyes.
It's almost like virtual reality for me.
I'm definitely coming over next time.
Which brings me to the European Tour last weekend, which was at Aphrodite Hills on Cyprus. So, is anybody here familiar with Cyprus?
Is that Turkey?
Very close to Turkey. Yes. So, island. If you would think with all the Greek influence, it'd be closer to Greece than it would Turkey. Only 160 miles from Lebanon, right? So, not a coincidence that the U.S. has already set up like military shop there this year, like basically preparing for World War III. But where they golfed at,
It's aggressive.
like where they golfed at was a 5-star resort, right? Like
in Cyprus, right?
yeah,
Okay.
not 4, not 4.5.
5.
This thing was a 5-star resort, right? It was absolutely beautiful. Now, fun fact about Aphrodite, goddess of love, right? She's like the Evander Holyfield of Greek goddesses, right? So Evander
I don't
Holyfield
get that
has
analogy.
he has like 11 children with like
Oh, got it. Okay, got it.
with like 4 or whatever, like 7 different, wives or whatever. Yeah. She's got like 14 children with like, 7 different husbands, right? 2 notable husbands, Poseidon and Hermes.
Legend.
Yeah.
Now we're a history podcast, but continue, Brian.
Right. Their kids, I looked up her kids. They didn't really amount to much.
Beat it.
Right. But that's her birthplace.
Daddy
Like that's
D.
where
Okay.
that's where the Greek mythology goddess was born. And so like it's a 5-star resort, and they literally like you can bring if you bring your family there, your kids, they have like a full-blown soccer camp with like retired like professional coaches, like having your kids get after it all day, like soccer. Like dude, this place is incredible. Anything you want, and it's one of those things where it's so nice you'd think that like, but like it's so probably expensive and exclusive that like it's also like not very busy. Like it looks awesome. And by the way, they've been making wine there for 6,000 years.
So there's no chance we're playing there.
Yeah. So what's the
Probably.
point of this? So
The point is that they got
no, I mean I get it, but what's the point? Why do our listeners give a shit about this Cyprus LPGA Tour event that's with this guy?
Aphrodite Hills, the golf course resort, right on Cyprus, receives a virtual starter Chi-Town approval, right, with an honorable mention, right. First of all, Crushing Wine. I think like they have a lot of restaurants. Not all their menus are online, so I couldn't find out if they had Cheeto peppers or not. Right?
I don't know. That's a delicacy out in Cyprus.
Yeah, like I don't I don't even know where they grow shishito peppers if they can even if it's the right climate, right? So, but like it's on the Mediterranean Sea, right? There's castles all over the island because of the Greek influence and Aphrodite's all her places where they worship and stuff like that. So casinos, like awesome casino resorts, on the island. So they have a little bit of advantage. It's a smaller island,
Sure,
but like because they get all this stuff, it's all within the distance, the Chi-Town approval distance, casinos and everything else, castles.
All right.
So
That's all right. Here, listen.
it's legit. 5 stars.
I love the research. You obviously went online, did a whole bunch of research. You watched it. You did all this. This goes to my point, is that if Chi-Town can be very knowledgeable on an island of Cyprus, you can be knowledgeable with the internet these days on any topic that's out there. So, example, Daddy D's on a date. Girl works, let's say, in the farming industry for pesticides. She's like, hey, we have this big dinner with this convention. We try to raise money. I want you to come and be my date. You can go online, search pesticides, read a Wikipedia. You can be very knowledgeable on the topic, even though you don't know anything about it. So my point is that with the internet today, and the Chi-Town's a perfect example, is you can be educated on any topic of any field ever.
It depends. Yes.
No, it doesn't. Like, if I go to a nuclear reactor fundraiser, I'll go read on fission, fusion, all this kind of stuff, and be able to speak somewhat intelligently to the people that are at this fundraiser.
But is somewhat intelligent considered educated? You said educated.
Sorry, I made a mistake. You can carry a conversation, or at least ask the right questions with the internet today. If you go somewhere, say, if you go to an event on, I don't know, raising cows, and you're like, oh, what's raising cows? How do you do it? What do you do? Like, no, you can go online and be educated on it, which is my point, that you go online and you get very educated on these different events in Europe and these different islands and the history of the islands.
Not really education, it's research.
Research.
Yeah.
But you can have, if somebody's like, oh, I'm from Cyprus, you'd be like, oh, do you know this story?
Have you been to Aphrodite Hills Golf Resorts?
Exactly.
That place looks amazing.
That's my point, is you can be very, all right, educated is the wrong word. You can be very engaged in a conversation, knowledgeable on whatever it is, knowing where you're going and what you're going to be talking about.
And I know so much about cigars. They won a Cuban cigar contest 2 years ago against the Cubans.
Huge. If you say this to a local there, he's like, wait, you know that, and you're from Chicago, they're going to blow their mind.
Yeah, let's go pound
And
some
where
wine.
did you find that? Did you just Google it? Did you see a Wikipedia? Like, where'd you find it?
Yes. So I Googled, obviously I went through the website, but then I Googled the website plus cigars. Then I Googled website.
That's 100% my point, is that if we're here in Chicago and somebody's from Cyprus comes here, it's like, oh man, like you guys like deep dish and Lubana. It's like, oh, have you guys ever been to, like, starts dropping local knowledge because he did his research. You're like, oh man, this guy's fucking smart.
I was literally a rock star in the pre-sales group that I was a part of at the technology company when I was early in my career. Mm-hmm. Right, I was a rock star because I was one of the few people that knew about Google at that time.
100%. I'm telling you, it's just, it's an information world, and you can get anything about anything at any time.
Right now.
Did it make sense or not?
Yeah.
It did. Are you going somewhere with that?
No, I'm just trying to say that, like, nobody has an excuse now not to be knowledgeable on a topic or be able to get a job. If you don't have a job now, guess what? Go to Postmates, go to DoorDash, go to Uber. Like,
But there's still only so many hours in the day to like.
And here
we go. I voted, Darren, so I have a voice.
But there's still only so many hours a day to research. Like, I don't know.
But
I don't know all the golf rules. Like, I don't know all the PGA players because I watched the European Tour and the LPGA Tour instead of the PGA Tour.
Yeah, but your point is, if I have a question on something, I'm like, oh, I can look it up.
Yeah, I mean, this girl you hung out with, you went on a couple of, friendly gatherings with. If she's like, hey, I'm going to take you to this event, and it's based on this type of, this is what we're celebrating, this is what we're raising money for, and you're like, oh, I don't know what the hell that is. You can go figure it out for 15 minutes and be like, okay, I can at least understand the lingo they're talking.
One of my pet peeves is like, friends come in town to a Cubs game. They're like, yeah, well, I got tickets for them. I'm like, yes, I'm so excited. What time does the game start? Well, you're in a 3-hour drive here. Maybe
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
your wife look
And
at
I
it.
heard something called the internet.
Like you're picking somebody up for the concert, like pregame before a concert. What time's the concert? You know what? Your ticket's gone.
We had that today. We had a buddy. We're going to a Steamboat in like the Super Bowl weekend, and he texts me and the guy, or he texts me and goes, "Hey, I think you're with Josh at the podcast. Have Josh show you what the flights we're taking to there. I'm too busy to show you." And I was like, "Wait, you text us to tell him to show us because?" And I was like, "This makes no sense." Like, come
Your
on, now.
text is for 7 lines long.
You could have gone to your Southwest app, screenshot and sent it in the same amount of time that it text you to send that, or took you to send that.
Speaking of dates, did you get a second date with PGA girl?
We did, yes.
Oh yeah.
Was she one of the 2 girls that came over the other night?
Oh man, I got to talk about that. We should have a whole episode based on golf simulators in people's homes.
Yes.
Because this buddy of mine, his house is ridiculous in Elmhurst, and I just had a drink and then went downstairs and I didn't leave this simulator. But all of us went down there, and then she came down there and was giving me swing tips, which was good.
We should also have a podcast on the cheapest way to do that.
Oh man, well, I don't think you want to do cheap. This is well done, and I don't think you want to do cheap.
No.
Because
If you're going to do that,
let me tell you where I'm coming from.
which
here.
you'll learn also in our first episode of season 2. We won't go into costs,
Okay,
but it's
here's how I'm going with this. All right, so so basically, I'm going to put some turf in my garage that you can roll out, whatever. Preparing for the winter, kids go on to screw around. I can throw baseballs to my son. He can hit him into the screen.
Sure.
Daughter could do soccer drills, all that kind of stuff, right? So once the turf is kind of it's not really in. I got to roll it out stuff because you got to park a car in there, right? So I'm like, all right, I can hit golf balls off this.
Okay.
Right. So I got the screen where my kid hits baseballs into it. So I'll hit some golf balls into it. So then I'm like, can I drop a screen in the garage and hit some balls into it? So like, that's what I'm getting about it as far as like cheap.
So yeah, what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
This guy wasn't going to.
So
go cheap.
Daddy sent me a picture. We'll put it up on the video. You'll see it behind us. But
It's
it's
phenomenal.
ridiculous.
And it reminds me of not too long ago. They one of the social media sites or podcasts posted a picture of Sevi back in the day, and that was his simulator. That was back in like 1987.
Yeah.
And it was a net in his living room on a piece of carpet. Right. I mean, how different the world is in technology today. And Rob, my buddy that went to his house, this thing was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He had left-handed, right-handed clubs.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob.
He's
Thank
a
you.
lefty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is.
I made a joke. I'm like, your right-handed clubs that are for your simulator are better than mine that I play with. But the house is phenomenal. We had a great time.
Awesome.
Everybody. It was a blast. I mean, we did our thing upstairs and said happy birthday and all that stuff, and then the guys kind of sneaked down. And then my date who invited me, she's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, She's like, "I'm coming down there." She was hanging out with us.
You have a perfect setup in your place for a golf simulator.
Oh, in the basement? No, it's not.
perfect
It's
setup.
not. It's not in the cards. But
Yeah.
great thing about though Daddy D's second date, he did ask her to come on tonight, and she was busy. She had some.
She's
teaching. She had some teaching to go.
kids
So
yesterday and today, she'll come on.
Yeah, she's on as long as he doesn't fuck it up, which I don't think he is. She seemed cool. He FaceTimed me.
So you've had 2 dates now. Would you consider a virtual simulator a second date?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
With the PGA girl.
With virtual simulator? What do you mean by that?
Didn't you go out to dinner with her? And then this is like the second?
Well, we went to a mutual friend's birthday party.
That's the second date. The first
was
date
the
was
second
margaritas.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've had 2 dates.
Third date, man, you have no idea.
Yeah.
We might be at a ghost
Game
story.
on.
We might be at a ghost story.
It's like a
Season
relationship.
2, episode 1 is going to be off the charts. All right, well, let's cut it there. I think our camera's going to bust out. Daily AV's not here, so been a hell of a first season, boys. I didn't think we'd get through 10 episodes, but I'm proud of us.
Yeah,
Really
I
am.
didn't think we'd actually not so much. I just didn't think we'd all show up for all 10 of
No,
them.
we had some Zooms, we had some whatever, but it's season 2. We're gonna.
We had some breakdowns.
We did. We had some emotional breakdowns, and we got a little whatever you want to call
You
it.
almost got one today.
I was waiting for it. I won't tell you what I told Brian of I know how to handle people like that. But all right, we're coming back though, not next week, but the week after. Soon, because everybody enjoyed the Masters. We're gonna come back, season 2. Listen, season 1 was getting our feet wet, figuring out what we like, what we don't like, what we're good at, what we're not good at. We're not gonna just sit here and talk for 50 minutes because we're not that interesting.
Quality and content is coming.
So what are we
So-
good at?
Don't worry about it. We'll figure that out in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
So Go buy hats. Go buy things. We got the hat coming out, as you guys saw next week. The Daddy D Hillbilly Special.
It's coming out.
Should be out soon. It's twice as much as the other hats because it's made in the USA. So I don't want to be that guy.
Welcome
but
to America.
I was like, why is this to our supply? I'm like, why is this twice as much? Well, it's made in the USA. It uses a special material. I'm like,
You don't have to buy it, guys.
yeah, you
but
don't have to, but we'd appreciate it.
Is it online now?
Not yet.
not yet. Okay. Just send me a note if you need
I
it.
have a great idea for the sweatshirt, but
Yeah.
I can't really find anybody that can make it.
we got people. We got people that can make it.
But I want to surprise you guys.
Yeah, please do. All right, season 2, a lot of surprises. New hat, sweatshirts, different location to start with. Maybe
New hosts.
New hosts. Yeah, we
Do
might.
we have to put together a QBR?
yeah. We need to. Yeah, it's not a QBR. It's a YBR, your business review. Whatever the fuck. It's stupid. All right.
ABR?
Yeah,
Annual business review?
review. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys. We appreciate it. We'll
Be
check
safe.
you out in season 2 later.
Later.